Jennifer Hayes had twisted the corroded ring through countless exhausting shifts, never questioning the $13 thrift store find that had become her only comfort during the hardest year of her life. When desperation finally drove her into Morrison Jewelers to repair a crack in the tarnished band, she apologized for wasting the jeweler's time. He placed it under magnification, and his entire body went rigid. Jennifer Hayes wiped down tables during her morning shift, her feet aching in worn shoes. The divorce had left her starting over from nothing. Double shifts at the diner barely covered rent and utilities. Some nights she'd count coins just to afford groceries, but Jennifer refused to let herself become invisible. Every few weeks, she allowed one small indulgence, a trip to the thrift store. It was the only place she could afford to feel normal again, where she could pretend life hadn't fallen apart. On a Tuesday afternoon, exhausted from back-to-back shifts, Jennifer pushed through the thrift store's door. She wandered to the jewelry section, where tangled necklaces and mismatched earrings filled plastic baskets. Most of it was junk, broken clasps and missing stones. Her fingers sifted through the mess. Then she felt it. A ring, heavy and tarnished, buried beneath broken chains. The band was corroded and rough against her skin. The stone looked like dirty glass, clouded and dull. Nothing special. The price tag read $13. It reminded her of her grandmother's costume jewelry, the kind she used to play with as a child. She bought it without thinking twice. That ring became part of her daily life. She wore it through morning shifts and late-night cleanups, through difficult customers and kitchen chaos. When anxiety crept in about unpaid bills, she would twist the ring around her finger. It grounded her. It was the one constant thing in a life that felt like it was constantly slipping away. Nearly a year passed this way. Jennifer never wondered about its origins or its worth. She had no energy left for questions like that. One morning, she stood at the sink, washing dishes before her shift. Hot water ran over her hands. Then she felt it. A sharp edge where there should have been smooth metal. She pulled her hand out and stared at the damage. The band had cracked. Panic seized her chest. This ring had become more than jewelry. It was her anchor, the small thing that made her feel like herself. She couldn't lose it, but replacing it was impossible. She barely had enough for next week's bills. Repairs might be cheaper. Jennifer passed Morrison Jewelers every day on her way to work. She'd never gone inside. The gleaming windows seemed designed for a different kind of person, people who didn't have to choose between electricity and food. She pushed through the door anyway. Glass cases lined the walls, filled with diamonds that caught the light. Jennifer felt every thread of her worn jacket. She didn't belong here. A man approached from behind the counter. He greeted her warmly and asked how he could help. Jennifer's words tumbled out nervously. She needed a repair, something simple and cheap. She emphasized the cheap part. She apologized for taking his time. The jeweler smiled kindly and asked to see the ring. Jennifer twisted it off her finger and placed it in his palm. He carried it to his workbench and positioned it under a magnifying glass. Jennifer stood near the counter, already worried about how much this would cost. Then she noticed his expression change. His body went completely still. His hands stopped moving. Jennifer's heart sank. It must be unfixable. Probably not even worth looking at. She started apologizing, saying she understood if it wasn't worth his time, that it was just a cheap thing from a thrift store. The jeweler looked up at her. His face had gone pale. He asked where she had gotten the ring. The question felt like an accusation. Jennifer's hands trembled as she explained about the thrift store, about buying it a year ago. Was he thinking she'd stolen it? Did he think she was lying? The jeweler asked her to wait. He needed to examine it more closely. He disappeared into a back room with her ring. Jennifer stood alone in the shop, surrounded by wealth she'd never touch. Minutes crawled by. Her anxiety spiraled with each passing second. What if the ring was stolen? What if police were coming? She was barely holding her life together. She couldn't afford legal problems on top of everything else. Part of her wanted to run, but her feet wouldn't move. Fear kept her frozen in place. The jeweler finally returned. His expression was unreadable. He asked if she would come to the back room to speak privately. Jennifer's stomach twisted into knots. Private conversations never meant good news. She followed him through the door, her legs shaking. Inside the small office, he placed the ring on a white cloth under a bright light. Jennifer barely recognized it. He had cleaned it. The stone now sparkled with impossible intensity. Light danced through facets she'd never noticed. It looked completely different. The jeweler spoke carefully. He explained that the ring wasn't costume jewelry. The stone was a genuine diamond, an exceptionally rare stone. He estimated its value at approximately $200,000. Jennifer couldn't process the words. $200,000. That money could pay off every debt, could give her security for the first time in years, could change everything. She could stop working double shifts. She could breathe again. But the jeweler's expression darkened. He turned his computer screen toward her. Old police records filled the display. His voice became serious. In 1987, there had been a robbery. An estate sale had been targeted. Several pieces of jewelry were stolen. Among them was a distinctive diamond ring. The description matched hers exactly. Every detail aligned. The case had gone cold decades ago. Jennifer felt the room tilt. The one thing that might have saved her was evidence of an unsolved crime. She couldn't keep it, couldn't sell it, couldn't benefit from it at all. Worse, she'd have to surrender the only possession that had brought her comfort. The fortune was slipping through her fingers before she could even hold it. The jeweler continued speaking. His voice had changed, become more personal. He admitted something surprising. The original owner of the ring had been his aunt. She died shortly after the robbery, heartbroken. The ring had been her late husband's final gift. It had meant everything to the family. They'd searched for years. He told Jennifer the next steps. He would need to contact the authorities. They would investigate. When the police concluded their work, if no rightful heir came forward, she might be entitled to keep it. But there were no guarantees. The process could take years, maybe forever. Jennifer looked at the ring sparkling under the light. She thought about what $200,000 could mean, about finally having enough. But she also thought about the jeweler's aunt, about losing something precious from someone you loved, about carrying that grief for decades. She understood that pain. She understood loss and heartbreak and clinging to small things because they were all you had. Jennifer made her decision. She told him to contact the authorities immediately. As devastating as it was to lose the ring and the fortune it represented, she couldn't live with keeping something that had caused another family such pain. Some things mattered more than money. The jeweler looked at her with respect. He thanked her and promised to handle everything properly, to keep her informed. Jennifer walked out of Morrison Jewelers into the afternoon sunlight. Her finger felt naked without the ring. She'd entered hoping for a simple repair and left having surrendered a fortune. The irony wasn't lost on her, but something unexpected had settled in her chest, not relief from her financial struggles. Those remained as crushing as before. Instead, she felt relief from carrying a burden she'd never known existed, from unknowingly holding on to someone else's stolen grief. Would you have made the same choice if you'd been in Jennifer's position?